It's there. Okay.
like
So you
rappers.
guys need to probably get into frame.
Or do I need to
There you
move?
go. Perfect.
We are live.
We're live. Is it
You
recording?
are live. So just start saying whatever. You're talking about the real estate
I like
agent.
toes.
Well, just know that once we put in the AI, then it'll start like, oh, what they just talked about in this clip is resonating with the rest of social media. I'm going to break it up into a 15-second
Wow.
bit, and it'll be video and everything that you guys can post.
There
So
you go.
maybe talk about like your experience in FISBOs and what you guys are seeing from FISBOs and what you guys are providing as a benefit. That like think about those topics for sell by owners. You can't say FISBOs because the world doesn't know it as FISBO. You know, it's for sell by owner
Yeah.
for AI. And then maybe talk about being a new real estate agent in today's market, stuff like that.
Didn't we
Like
start
the more
typing
you
at the
just
same
start
time?
rambling, the more content we'll have to break up into a clip.
Very cool.
So, said 30 minutes?
At least.
I can talk for 30 minutes
So all you'll want to do is say stop recording. Just come over here and hit stop recording.
when we're done.
It's right. Right there.
I'm assuming it's the button that says stop recording.
When I get back, I'll I'll load it up and put it in. Tomorrow morning, you guys will have a bunch of clips ready.
Heck
Ooh.
yes.
Sweet.
So
Thanks,
Okay.
Jared.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sam.
I gotta run to Logan for a listing.
Ooh, good luck.
Up in Logan?
Please,
Jeez, okay.
we can come out.
I wish I had a listing up in Logan. I wish I had a listing, period. Okay, well, this is. Shut up, Maddie. It's not depressing that I don't have a listing right now, okay? Calm down.
Okay.
This is so freaking dope, though. So, what we need to decide what we want to talk about. Should we talk about
We should
FISBOs?
just talk. That's why I asked Chad if he wanted to do one because me and Chad are always randomly talking and he'll say something and I'll be like, "What the heck? Why would you do that?" And I feel like we start arguing. And then I was like, "Oh, this would be good for a podcast."
You guys are very argumentative, I will say that. You guys do argue about a lot of things. Do I need to
Yeah.
hold it closer? Is that better? I don't know how
Yeah.
close I should hold it like that. That good? I don't want to like disturb. Hi, camera. I feel like I'm gonna be TikTok famous from this. They're gonna be like,
I like
wow, that
I like
one
that it
dweeb.
I like that it's gonna like make clips for us.
This just in.
I don't have time. Like,
What happened? This just what happened?
okay,
What do you not have time
topic.
for? Topic. Should we talk about
I have
FISBOs?
videos. Okay, hot topic. How was your first week of calling for sale by owners?
Calling for sell by owners is definitely tough because a lot of the people, like, there's a reason why they're doing for sell by owner. They don't want to use an agent. They don't want to pay a commission and things like that. So you have to make sure you have enough value as an agent and give them a reason of why they should use an agent to actually make it happen. Because if you're just blabbering around of, I can sell it for the highest, I can sell it the quickest. I mean, these people have heard that plenty of times before. So it's not going to be anything new to them. You have to be different. You have to be, trustworthy, transparent of what you're actually going to do for them. I mean, if you're just an agent who's saying going around, I can sell it the fastest for the most. I mean, you kind of just lying through your teeth, staring at all you agents who say that. Don't say that. Be trustworthy. Be honest. So that's kind of the thing that you have to really focus on. I think people really do appreciate trustworthiness and transparency when it comes to selling their home.
Yeah. I think that I've had the most success when I can like have a friendship basis with the for sale by owners
Yeah.
first and get to talk and find out their motivation for selling. And I don't know. That's how I got my very first one. Like they had no idea. They never questioned me. I feel like I didn't push like, oh, I can sell your home this fast. I could do this. I could do that. Like we didn't even talk about the basic listing presentation at all. Like she just talked to me over the phone.
Yeah.
We talked about kids. We talked about health issues going on in their family, just trying to find common ground.
Yeah.
And she never once asked me like how many homes have I sold? What is my marketing plan?
Unlike that one lady that asked me like the other day.
Like it just yeah, it really depends on your person.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely interesting because a lot of people, I don't know if you remember in the Code of Ethics class, but there was a study that was done that real estate agents were one of the least trusted people
Oh
out
yeah.
there. Like, I think we're actually worse than used car salesmen. I don't know why or how, but we just have a lot of agents for some reason that are ruining our reputation. And it doesn't really do us any good because then there are actually agents out here who are trying to put in the work, who are trying to build a business around trustworthiness and bringing in people who actually genuinely like them and want to be around them. And then we just have other people who are tarnishing our own reputation. So it's definitely difficult because a lot of people just don't like us, you know?
I feel like people don't know what we do.
That's actually fair. I had a
I
friend
feel
this
like people
morning
just
who
think
was
we open
that.
doors.
That's a very fair
So then they see
reason.
our commissions and they say, "Oh, you just open doors for people and walk away with money." Like I think that's why
Yeah,
we get a bad rap.
that's fair, honestly, because if someone sees it as like you are just the key I need to go view the property, I mean, that's fair. I mean, like
Yeah.
you're just a body at that point going to open the door, like you just said. But in reality, what we're actually doing is a lot more than that. I mean, we help you through the entire process. I mean, I like working with first-time home buyers, and first-time home buyers, it's not like going to buy groceries. You know, you don't do that every single week, and everyone knows how to buy groceries. But buying a house isn't a very common thing to do. So it's nice to have someone in the industry who is well versed on the market, well versed on pricing, well versed on how the process actually works to get it done for you. Because again, it's just not something you do on a weekly basis. It's something you need, well, you don't need, but it's very beneficial to have someone who's been in the market for a while to be on your side.
I feel like I just saw a FSBO today on Zillow and it was like motivated seller and I know the estimate isn't accurate, but it was like 30,000 below the estimate.
Mhm.
They were like super motivated, bring your offers. I was like, why are you doing for sale by owner and pricing it so low?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you have the money to hire an agent, like go get it marketed professionally, get professional photos, get more money out of your home sale.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
There are some people who have, I mean, we hear it all the time that, like, oh, we've sold plenty of houses before, we've bought in plenty of houses before without agents. That's why we don't need you guys. But sometimes those people are
Yeah.
a little far-fetched with their pricing. They're either super underpriced and they could get a lot more, or they're super overpriced and they're over optimistic of what they can actually get for their house.
Or maybe they were in a different market. So they had the same
That's fair.
expectation this time.
Yeah, it's like we're not back in. I mean, in today's market's a little bit rough. I mean, everyone, it almost feels like everyone has a crap ton of equity in their house. I mean, my parents probably have close to $700,000 in equity,
Dang.
like um, from the original purchase price, but they've paid it down a decent amount, so probably 800K in equity right now, which is a lot. And I've tried to convince someone like, yo, you guys should take that equity, get something nice, but
You must live in a nice home then.
it's pretty nice. It's not too shabby at all. It's in West Jordan. It's in a good part of West Jordan. It's right by Copper Hills.
It's in a good part.
Yeah, it's a really good part. I like it. I'm right next to all my schools. My parents never drove me anywhere.
Oh, really?
I walked to elementary school, middle school, and high school. I can count probably on one hand the amount of times my parents drove me to school. It's probably like two.
Are you sure that's a good thing? I
Yeah,
used to walk to and from school and it was awful.
it's pretty great, honestly, because I know a
Always
lot of people
sweaty.
don't. It's not that bad though. I mean, just being in
Utah summer.
shorts, t-shirt in the beginning of the year and end of the year, and then in the winter, you just get to bundle up. You're nice and cold, and then when you go into the school, it's nice and warm.
I feel like the fashion when I was younger and I had to walk home was not like walker friendly. I lived in Seattle, so it was always rainy. It
You
was
did
always
live in
wet.
Utah.
And it was like the boot cut style was in.
Yeah.
So like the bottom of my pants were always wet.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's your first mistake. Don't live in Seattle. Come to Utah, okay?
I know, yeah, I never went back. I didn't like
I
it.
can tell you're still here, unless we're in Seattle right now.
Well, I went to Hawaii.
Oh, you did go to Hawaii,
I went to
didn't
Hawaii
you?
for a few years. And then me and my husband graduated and we came here. So I like never I visited my parents once and then they moved here.
Did they live in Hawaii,
No, no, no.
or they live in
I
Seattle?
visited them in Seattle
Okay, okay, okay.
like one time when I was in college. So I like never went home. I never had another Thanksgiving. I like never had a Christmas at home. Like I never went back.
That's kind of sad.
It is sad, but like I didn't want to go back. That's even sadder.
Yeah, don't you want to go see your own parents? Don't they miss you? Don't you miss them?
Okay, so the one time I went home to visit my parents, it was like my dad knew about it, and then my mom we were surprising, and we walked. Me and my sister, she was in Utah at the time,
Mhm.
so I came from Hawaii. My sister came from Utah, and we went back, and my mom's like, "What are you doing here?"
What
Like
are you
she was
doing here?
like annoyed, and my little brother still lived there, so oh my gosh, it was awful. We still joke about that.
I'm
So that's
sorry.
my sad
I'm
story.
sorry. That's
So
too
what?
funny
You're
to share with her.
18.
I'm 19.
You're 19?
I'm 19.
Did you just have a birthday?
My birthday was in April.
Oh, I thought you were fresh from high school. Are you not?
Well, I graduated 2023.
Last year.
Yeah, so a year and I don't know, 4 months.
So tell us about your job before you became a real estate agent, or why did you become?
The reason why I wanted to become a real estate agent is for the investing side of things. I love the idea of buying a property, getting an FHA loan, living in it for a year, renting it out, and having the other incomes, the other rental incomes cover your mortgage and then a little bit some after that. And I've seen a lot of people do it. I mean, we have Jared here who did that. Like the definition of that is house hacking and did it very successfully. I mean, he has accrued a lot of money,
Well,
a
to be
huge
fair,
share.
he did that on his own without being an agent, and then he became an agent.
I feel like it's easier to be an agent as well because I don't know if many people know this, but we can use our own commission as the down payment. Like, of course, I think we have to have I don't know the full story. I know you used part of your commission as your down payment for your house, but
Yeah.
don't you have to have like the money available and then you just like
You have to
you
have
take it as a gift?
proof. Yeah, so you have to have proof of funds somewhere in a bank account or some kind of stock. You have to have proof of that amount that you need,
Yeah.
and then you can roll in that commission at
Yeah.
title
You just
at
like
closing.
you just need the money already. Like if your commission's 15K and your down payment's 15K, you have to have 15K somewhere. And like you can
Yeah.
get it from other places, and then when your commission comes in, you just give it back to like didn't you get it from your parents like as a gift? That's what they classified it as.
Oh, honey. No.
No?
I have it.
Oh,
I have it in investments.
you have it in investment?
Yeah, so 401k, it was like in 5 different areas. Like it would have
Oh,
been a
okay,
nightmare
okay.
to pull it all out, pay it, and then like take my commission and put it back where it was.
Yeah.
So like that's the benefit of
Well, wouldn't
having
you
that.
face penalties as well? Like if it's in 401k and
Oh
you need to take
yeah.
it out, like you would face a lot of
Yeah.
penalties that way.
So like if push came to shove and I couldn't roll it in at title, then I would have just asked one of my parents like, "Hey, can you give me 5 grand or 10 grand or whatever I needed?" That like, well, I would sell my stock. Like stock is pretty fluid. So I would have just sold that and then like rebought probably after and
I
then
see.
asked for a smaller amount of money from my parents. But yeah, so you can receive it as a gift and then once you get paid, if you can't roll it in at closing, because I talked to like D.R. Horton said like, "Oh yeah, we don't do that," or like, "We
I
couldn't do
see.
that for you." So then when I went to Flagship, they're like, "Oh yeah, no problem," but I had to use my own title,
Mhm.
and I already was using my own lender anyways too. So
With your stocks, do you just like have mutual funds? You just like give it to someone and they invest it for you, or are you hands on with it?
um, no, like we use Robinhood like on our phone.
Do
Like
you like
it,
do day trading? Are you a day
my
trader,
husband
Maddie?
tried to get into it. Well, my husband's really into short. What is it? It's been a long time since I've talked about it, but it's
Like the
like
short term investments, like buy low, sell high?
it's like way more complicated. Um it's like you basically place bets and someone else is like buying the stock. You basically make what is it called? Shorting? I want to say it's called shorting.
It's like you borrow the money to get the stock and then you hope it goes lower. So then you pay it back at a cheaper price, but then you get to keep the profit. Like that?
It's not like buying and selling.
I have no idea what you're talking
It's
about,
very
Maddie.
complicated. And I never did it. My husband did it, and he tried to explain it to me many times, and he lost a lot of money.
That's fair. I feel like I've always wanted to get into day trading, and I know Jared has someone who does day trading, and he's been pretty successful with it.
Really?
But I want to do it so bad. It just seems like so easy. I don't know why more people don't do it with obviously smaller sums of money. I feel like if you're smart with it, you can
Yeah.
make a good amount of money from it. But if you're stupid and just dump all of your savings into it at one time and lose it all, like I feel
Oh
like that's
yeah.
what people think of day trading. It's like, oh, like I have to put in all this money. I have to, take this huge risk, this big gamble that I
Yeah.
don't know if it's going to pay off. But realistically, like I think you can start off with however much you want. Like I know there's apps like Webull. I know Webull is a big one, and you can
Mhm.
just put money in there, invest it, wait for it to go up. If it doesn't, sucks.
Yeah.
And I feel like day trading has a bad stigma around it, kind of like us real estate agents. We
Wait, that's
have.
not day trading though.
I
If
get
you're
that.
not trading it within a day, then it's not day trading. That's just investing
Well,
in
you can
stocks.
do it. Like you can put it in and take it out whenever you want. Like if you really
There's
wanted to,
like
just leave it in there.
So like that's how we got into Robinhood is because like we were very poor, so we put like $10, $20, and we
Hmm.
buy like a very small sliver of a Microsoft stock
Hmm.
or like Apple because you can buy like a portion of a share. You don't
Yeah,
need the full 200, $300 share. But that's how we got started, and I want to say it was around COVID is when we started because everything was
yeah.
like down.
Everything was
So I was
cheap.
like, whoa, like we should buy some. But like,
It's honestly kind of smart. I met a gentleman. He goes to some car meets that I go to as well, and he has a bunch of nice cars. And
really,
I asked him like, "Hey, like, what do you do for work?" Because like I'm curious of how people obtain their wealth. He was like, "Yeah, I just bought when it's low and sold when it's high."
really,
And it's that and it can change people's lives. I mean, like obviously it's a huge gamble because at that point you're putting in so much money to where you have basically everything to lose. Like things could go bad so quickly.
I feel like that's my problem is I don't know when to sell. Like things go up and I'm like, oh, it's gonna go up higher.
It's very much self-control because I once you get like emotionally, it's like, oh, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Like you need to like have it like before you even start, you need to like have a limit with yourself. It's like I will sell at this point. I don't care if it keeps on going higher. If it does, like that kind of sucks because like it's put like
Well,
missed
like
income.
I
But
guess I'm talking about like Microsoft. Microsoft isn't gonna crash to its death. Like it would go down.
you never know. Like it's a crazy place. So you're probably right. It'll probably be okay.
Like with day trading, I understand. Like you want, okay, once I hit this, then I'll back out because day trading, like those penny stocks are gonna like what is the percentage? Like 90 something percent of them die. There's a very small percentage that actually like go on to be successful. Like they pump a bunch of news out about them, make the stock go up, and then people make their money, and then
Yeah, then just
and then
tanks.
they drop, they tank, and they got their money out of it.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that crazy?
It is kind of crazy, honestly. And I've seen a few stocks. There's a company called Rivian. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of them, but they're an electric truck company, and they did really
Oh,
well to start with. But they are not doing good right now. Their stock has plummeted. And when I was looking
really?
to initially invest in them, their
Yeah.
stock was like $135-ish per share, and now it's like 50.
Ooh.
Like it's not very good. So that's again the risk that comes along with these kind of investments of these penny stocks. And that's why I feel like a lot of day traders invest in these penny stocks because they can quickly go up, quickly go down towards long term. Like, especially in today's day and age, it's so hard to start a successful company. I mean, it's hard to, get the funding to stay afloat and compete with these big guys because these big guys are already so established. I mean, you have Tesla, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, like all these massive companies that you just can't compete. They just have such deep pockets. And if you want to start a business competing against them,
Well, Tesla isn't that old.
well, that's why Tesla was kind of like a shock. I mean, Tesla's been around since what, the late 90s? Because I know Elon Musk bought it after he sold PayPal, but at the same time, you also have to think that that was through the '08 crisis where everything dropped.
I also think that startup companies that become big get bought out by like Microsoft, Apple.
Well, that's what happened before. I think there was a stat I saw actually on Instagram. So everyone, please take this with a grain of salt. But it's like YouTube, when it was sold, was worth like 1.1 billion, and now it's worth like 400 billion.
Dang.
So it's like, yeah, the owner got $1 billion. That's great, but that is a lot of money he missed out on. But of course, I mean, maybe that's what he wanted. I mean, $1 billion is a lot of money for us ordinary Joes to where, for these huge entrepreneur businessmen, it's just not enough.
I feel like going back to stocks, my husband, I would get money to invest, he would get money to invest, and then we'd like check it all the time and be like, oh, look, I made more money than you. Like we'd like compare like what our values are at.
Like friendly competition with it.
Oh yeah. And he like thought Wish was like the greatest thing. And he read some like news articles about Wish. You know, like the Chinese company that like
Yeah, I know.
and the products they sell are like awful. They're like very low quality,
Yeah.
terrible. Anyways, my husband bought, they were really cheap. And so he's like, no, like, because they had already come down.
Mm.
And so he bought a bunch of them. He's like, it's going to come back up. And eventually it just like slowly died out and they went bankrupt and it was gone. And like now that I am in real estate, like, how cool is that if you own real estate, your investment will never be gone. It'll always be there. Like the value can go up and down, but like it's never going to just disappear.
Yeah. I mean, if we're really thinking, like, what is the best form of investment?
Something that scares.
No, real estate.
So I'm saying land.
Obviously. Like, okay, fine. I guess you have a very valid point there. There's not infinite amount of land in this world. But real estate investing is crazy. I mean, if you look at the market, there are a lot of people that say, like, oh, I'm waiting for the market to crash. I'm waiting for prices to go back down. If you look at the market, like COVID just happened. Like obviously, like not like just happened, but like it's in our recent past. Prices dropped obviously, and for some reason people got so scared, and a lot of them had to do short sales. Short sales is when you are selling the price for less than what you owe on the mortgage, so you're underwater with it basically. So real estate investing is so important, but you have to be in it for the long run because you're not. It's not going to be like day trading where you're going to get 10 grand in a day. Real estate investing is you are owning that property for years and years and years and years and years, and ideally renting it out so you're still getting an income from it, but you are not really seeing that return until you sell it. But like again, Jared is a perfect example. He
You
bought
get
a
return if you rent it.
You can rent it for sure, yeah, but it's not going to be like overnight you're getting all this money. It's not like day trading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But like Jared again is a perfect example. He told us that he bought a house in Highland for 150 grand. It was at an auction. Wrote a check for 150 grand. They lived in it for a few years, and he recently sold it for like 950. And I'm like, okay, like where can you find a house nowadays that's 150? That's not a complete
He
little
bought it from
crap
an
house.
auction?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Wait, why did he live in it?
why not? It's a cheap house.
I'm curious, what is like the loan process on an auction home?
Well, an auction, there's not a loan. He
You
wrote a
have to pay cash?
he wrote a check that day for 150 grand. That's the
I
kind
feel
of
like I would
numbers
have
that can
rented
pull
it
it in.
out unless maybe he was trying to fix it up and live in it at the same time.
I mean, at that point, like we said, Jared, our boss, everyone who's ever watching this podcast, Jared Johnson is the man, the myth, the legend. He had like 75 rentals. He didn't need another one. He just needed a place to live.
That's what I'm saying. Why'd he go live in the auction home?
It was a nice house. He just fixed it up. Fixing
Maybe
it,
maybe he bought it and went in and then he's like, "Oh, this is actually pretty nice." And then maybe
probably.
like I don't know, like because an auction you're going in blind, really.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
mean,
see.
you can drive past the property. I think there's a few pictures, but you don't really know the status of it. Like, I don't even know if you can do an inspection. I don't know any of that, unfortunately.
I don't
But
like yeah, I don't think you can.
But the thing with it is that you have the luxury of time. Now, this sounds kind of terrible. And I know a lot of people are like, no, like I would never do this because when it comes to buying an auction property, I mean, that's someone who got foreclosed upon, didn't pay their taxes. Like that person is a bad situation. So you're kind of just like, you're reaping the reward of someone else's downfall, basically. And I know a lot of people kind of look down upon that, but at the same time, it's like it's already happened. And there's this gentleman. He's a great guy. He actually I was talking to him like a week or two ago on this class that I'm taking. His name's Logan Fulmer, and he's over in Texas. And he bought this property for 14 grand, super super cheap, because I think the owners I don't fully remember either foreclosed upon, didn't pay taxes. Someone was coming to take their property, and they had to get out. And I don't know in foreclosures, like I don't think you get anything. Like once you're foreclosed upon, I think it's like, okay, bye. Like bank just kicks you out. Like you don't get anything. To where Logan was able to give these guys like 14 or 15 grand and then was able to flip it and got it and sold it for 70. So it's kind of a win-win because the sellers are getting something. Like obviously it's not a lot, but they're still getting something.
Like equity? Like they're walking into equity?
Not necessarily walking
Or
into
I'm
equity,
sorry.
but like they're getting something out of being foreclosed upon. Like they are losing their property, but they're still getting some money for their property. Because otherwise, I think they would have just lost it. They wouldn't have gotten any money for it.
Isn't that what a foreclosure is?
Yeah, because like there's the process to where because like once it's started foreclosed upon, then you have until like it's fully closed to where you don't get anything. So like if you're in that process, you can still sell it.
As a short sale?
Not necessarily a short. I mean, like how much you can get for it. Like that's where a lot of people like will probably come in and lowball you.
Well, it's a short sell if you can sell it on your own.
Well, you
And if
can.
it doesn't, I think you get 6 months. And if at the end of the 6 months, if it doesn't sell, then it's foreclosed upon and it's an even harder ding to your credit. And then you get kicked out.
I mean, your credit's already so messed up at that point. I can't even
A short
imagine.
sell damages, I think, for 3 years. And like a foreclosure is like 7.
Well, a short sale doesn't necessarily have to hurt you. I mean, if you have enough money saved up, you can just pay out the rest. Because a short sale is you sold your house. So like if you owe 100 grand on your house, but you're only able to sell it for 80, and then you still have a 20K mortgage there. But if you have 20K in cash to pay that off, like, does that suck? Yes, because you're like you couldn't cover the mortgage, but still able to pay it off. I don't think that would hurt your credit. I can't imagine it would be at least.
Well, if your mortgage is only 20K, then go refinance.
But you don't have the house at that point.
Like, why are you selling? You can just refinance your 20K. Like, that's all you owe.
Well, a lot of people, again, that's why short sales don't really make sense to me because people are under and they're still selling.
Well, say you lose a job and maybe you can't make any payments.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's why. Or maybe they've gone handicapped. I don't know. They can't work.
There are a lot of reasons, and of course, I sympathize for those people, and that's exactly why we're here. We want to help you guys out. Sell your house or buy anything you need. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love this thing so much.
That's interesting. We should have someone come on here, like a short sell expert.
We should bring some people on. Anyone watching this? I'm trying my best to learn how to like talk to the kids.
Stop talking to the camera. It's
Why not?
weird.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. That's our audience. That's who's watching. If anyone, this is why we're doing the podcast. So
No,
I should be facing this way, honestly. And like you're just like here, I'm talking to them. These are my friends right here, my best buds. What's up, guys? How we doing? Welcome back to the Infinite Real Estate Group Own It podcast. Because it says Own It up there. Shut up, Maddie.
Wrong one. What were we trying to press? I can't remember
Oh
them.
wait, hold on.
This podcast is Busy Professional.
That's it's so loud. Okay.
We discovered that this room
Hmm.
works like 20 minutes ago, so
Okay, wait. Here's another thing that
let's
I
hear it.
think is like mind blowing. Because we had a financial planner come into our office.
Oh, the guy last week
Yeah.
for the Wednesday meeting. Yeah.
But they were talking about 401ks, Roth IRA, investing and like what your return looks like on the money you put in.
Mhm.
But it's like how crazy that you could go buy a property and you could rent it out and you're making like so much more money than anything that you could ever do in a 401k.
Yeah.
Not like mind blowing.
It's ridiculous.
It's like
And
blowing my mind.
that's why when it comes to 401k IRAs, like traditionally, sure, but real estate investing just seems like such a cheat code, honestly. It seems like the absolute because you are building equity, and if you can rent it out to cover the mortgage plus some, that's your profit.
Well, okay, let's talk worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario. What's worst case
Worst
scenario?
case scenario. Say your mortgage is $2,500
Okay.
and you rent it out for 2,000.
Okay.
You're bleeding $500 a month. So say you're investing $500 a month
Mhm.
into this investment and someone else is spending $2,000 a month into your investment.
Mhm.
Like it's paying down your loan.
Yeah.
So 30 years from now, what is that? 4 times. Someone else is putting 4 times the amount of money into your investment.
Yeah.
Like a stranger.
People are paying you basically.
So like that's why I have such a hard time with the 401k. It's like, okay, your employer matches 1% or 3%. Like they just match what you put in. Like you
Yeah, it's like this renter is now putting in so much more money than you are. And in today's economy, it's a lot harder. I mean, Sherry is a prime example with this. I think she had a property that was it was like under, but the full mortgage just wasn't being covered. I think it was actually similar numbers, like 2 grand a month she was charging, the mortgage was 2,500, so she had to put in $500 a month for it. And in today's economy, that's not very uncommon. Like that's kind of stereotypical when it comes to properties that are being purchased nowadays. But I mean, if you are able to find an investment property to where you are making money, even if it's just a couple $100 a month, I mean, why wouldn't you?
like if you're cash flowing
Yeah, like
from the rent.
if you're cash flowing from the rent,
Oh yeah.
why wouldn't you? You are investing into an asset that is making you money long
Well,
term. It is getting paid off by someone else's income. It is the most like obvious income or not income, excuse me, investment I can think about.
well,
Like,
the risk is you have to fill it. You have to have a renter. So
but
the
the
risk
risk
is
to
if you
reward is just
right.
so
So if
high.
you don't have renters and like yeah, you are kind of screwed and you're gonna get like that's scary, I think, to a lot of people. Like if you have a renter in there,
God
then
knows
like
you.
what a crazy, amazing investment.
Well, think of it too. I mean, so many people are moving here to Utah. I mean, we have people from all over the United States moving here for some reason. I mean, I know why. It's a great state because I was born and raised here in Utah. I mean, it's a great place to
For
live.
some
And I
reason.
remember, like, my dad talked to me a few times actually. He was like, Hayden, I remember when Bangalore was being built, like initially. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, you're really making, you really sound like a dinosaur right now, Dad. Like, you sound ancient right now.
I remember when Harriman was brand new.
When Harriman was brand new, I don't even
Maybe
remember.
not
I
brand
was
new, but
too
like
young.
we lived in Seattle and so we would come visit and like Harriman was so far out of the way compared to like going to American Fork. Because I had a lot of family in American Fork
Yeah.
and then we'd have to book it up to Harriman and it was like so empty and everyone was like, "Why do you live out here?" Basically how you feel towards Eagle Mountain right now.
Eagle Mountain seems so far away, but I mean, I see what you mean because, but like, if you think of it now, like Harriman to American Fork, I drive past that. I drive from West Jordan down here every single day. I
It's
drive past Harriman,
also you have like busy highways now. Like before it was like slower roads, it was
like
dirt, it was
back
like the middle of
roads.
nowhere.
Okay, okay, okay. I
It
see
was
what you mean.
like, why would you want to live out there?
Oh, yeah, that one.
But
It's gonna stop. Okay.
but yeah. I don't know, isn't that crazy?
It's
That's
just weird
what
to think. I mean, Utah's expanded so freaking fast, and I'm willing to bet within the next 5 years there will be nothing but suburbs connecting. What is it like Lehigh, Saratoga Springs, all the way to Eagle Mountain? I have no doubt that there's just going to be
well, it's already
business
connected.
that I mean, it's connected, but like a lot, there's some roads that's like pretty desolate. Like there's not really much on either side.
Are
or,
you
like
talking about like past Eagle Mountain, like
no, like
down
going
around?
to Eagle Mountain. Like if you go through Lehigh to Saratoga to Eagle Mountain, there's some roads that are just pretty dead. Like there's not really much over there.
There's like what is it? Corey B. Ride. The miles per hour is like 55. And then
The
there's like a
Redwood?
suburb road. There's like two ways to get into Eagle Mountain.
Yeah, you can take the Mountain View Highway, or you can take the Redwood, the SBR, or whatever the highway is, and they go further down south and then cut across. Oh.
Pony Express.
Yeah, Pony Express, that's the road.
Pony Express, yeah, that's like the suburb road. But like it's funny because I post about Eagle Mountain and everyone has something like awful to say about the traffic.
It's
And like,
so bad. It's
well,
so
you're saying the
busy.
roads are desolate. Like there's no one out there.
No,
There's
no,
no one
no, no,
on it.
not desolate. I mean, like the land out there is desolate. The roads are so jam-packed, though. There's also a lot of construction, to be fair. There's a lot of
Okay, but to
construction
be
on the road.
fair, have you ever gotten off at the Thanksgiving Point exit?
Yeah, I go there every Wednesday for the car meet. There's no
It's
issue
like
there.
horrendous. I used
It's
to
not
work.
bad.
I used to work in at Thanksgiving Point, and it was so awful.
Like on Timpanogos? Timpanogos Highway?
It's like right at that intersection,
Yeah, that's not bad at
kind of by
all.
Cornbellies.
I
You know
go there
those
every
like
single
high
Wednesday.
rises?
Not even bad.
I would start work at like 4:20 or something.
Okay, well, you're going
4:20,
prime traffic
4:30
hour.
p.m. 4:30,
4:30. Okay,
4:30 p.m. is like if that's crammed with traffic at 4:30 p.m. That's sad.
when I was working part-time here and I came down every single Tuesday, I was off at 2. And I would come down here, I would get here around 2. Actually, I'd get here around 3. Because the traffic at 2 p.m., 2 p.m. was terrible. I-15 traffic going south at 2 p.m. is terrible. I don't know why.
Okay, well that's my point. Is like how can you look at Eagle Mountain and say, "Oh, the traffic's so bad."
It is terrible.
Like
It's
look at the
so
rest of
bad.
Utah County. Look at
It's
Salt Lake
all
County.
bad. Okay, I
It's
will say
all
it's
bad.
all terrible. I mean, over in West Jordan, there's 78 that's super busy. There's Bangor that's always super busy. 90th is always super busy. Let's see what else is super busy. I mean, 56 is jam freaking packed,
Okay,
and then
okay.
I-15. Oh my gosh, so
I used to live in Orem, like Vineyard,
Mhm.
and we lived there for years, like 3 or 4 years, and it was awful. It was horrendous. It was like so bad.
Mhm.
We lived like right next to the interstate, and there's no grocery. Maybe there is now, but there was no grocery stores on the Vineyard side of the interstate.
Mhm.
And so trying to go to the grocery store, say I'm like cooking. This is what would happen is I'd be cooking dinner and I'd be missing like one ingredient, and I'm like, oh.
That sucks.
And so I don't want to waste all the food I've already started cooking. So like I would have to load up my kids and we'd sit in traffic going literally like a mile away because we had to go under the interstate to get to the other side to a grocery store. Like there's
That's
Winco,
so freaking.
Smith's, Target. Like there's so much crap. It's so condensed. Everyone's trying to get in and out of Vineyard. And I just needed a freaking thing. And I couldn't get that. So now out in Eagle Mountain, if you go to City Center, there's zero traffic. There's like none. Like I can go to the grocery store anytime. I can zoom over there, zoom back. It doesn't matter. So like people talk about the traffic coming in and out of Eagle Mountain, but like
Chad!
City Center's great.
Look who finally decided to show up.
That's
Say
the
hi to
camera.
our fans. We're live right now, actually. We have
Where you been, Chad?
500 people watching live. Does that even work?
Wait, try it again.
Test.
Oh, you're on.
Is it that one?
I can hear.
Oh, no way. Wait, turn up higher.
Okay, yeah.
We were just
Are you
talking
whispering?
about.
Where have you been?
With my family.
Is your child
Aw.
okay? I heard you were watching your kid.
We went to story time.
What's
At
that?
the library. What library do you go to? American Fork?
Mondays is Draper.
Draper?
Where do you live?
Wednesday, American Fork.
Oh, that sucks.
Wednesday is Sandy.
Oh. Ew.
And then
Do you
this is my Olivia usually takes her. This is
does
my
she
first
just
time
go
taking her.
like for the drive to get out of the house?
Yeah.
Why so
But she likes
seems
taking her and that stuff. She enjoys it.
As long as she
For as
enjoys it,
much
I
as
Hayden,
guess.
someday
can.
you'll have a baby.
I don't have kids,
Dude,
okay?
you
I'm
don't
single as
understand.
well. Any cute ladies watching, please. I'm desperate. Not really,
Chad, tell us
actually.
about your morning. A day in the life of Chad Morgan.
So I wake up around 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Whenever the baby wakes up. Sometimes it's earlier. Sometimes it's like 7. And then I hang out with the baby while my wife goes to the gym. and then she's gone for a couple hours, and then comes home. And then usually I'm ready for work by then. As long as the baby let me get ready for work.
And then you just mosey your way on down here.
Sometimes
What did you need to do to get ready for work?
shower,
Thank goodness you do
Brush
smell
my
pretty
teeth.
bad.
Put on deodorant.
put on deodorant, moisturize.
Do you wear any cologne? You always smell pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I don't.
You really? That's
Yeah.
all natural.
Probably deodorant.
I mean,
Do you use Old Spice?
deodorant and body wash. Sometimes I wear cologne, but not usually.
Do you use Old Spice deodorant?
What do I use? Yes, Old Spice.
Old Spice, the correct choice. Bravo. Round of
If I'm wearing cologne, it is Gucci.
Gucci cologne.
Are you being real?
All right, Chad. I know you get a lot of deals compared to us too, but dang,
A lot of
fancy,
deals.
bro.
No, it actually. I mean, that's not a joke. I actually do, but it was like a sample set that was given to me for a gift a while ago, and I still have because I never use it, so I still
Wow.
have it.
Whenever you're trying to impress the wife, you just go.
He has to do more
When
than
it's
that.
time for sexy time that night.
What's that?
Hayden doesn't know either.
What's
Yeah,
that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay. AI will cut it out for me. At least that's what Jared said.
Oh, we said a lot of stuff on these things.
Did you know that Hayden's going to Hawaii next week?
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's fun. With who?
my family. Turns out one of my friends is actually going to as well. Her dad surprised their family with a trip to Hawaii
What day are you going?
Sunday. Fuck.
Oh, yeah, I'm
What?
going out of town.
Wait, hold on.
Where did he come from?
Can you just say, I don't, I don't give a fuck, but I'm giving you a fuck.
Oh.
I'm going out of town.
Where are you going?
Miami.
When?
Why?
Friday.
Wait, right now with the hurricanes?
It's not over there though.
It's like all of Florida.
No.
Wait, why are you
Miami
going?
is not affected by the hurricane.
What's over there?
Taylor Swift.
You and your are going to Taylor Swift?
I'm not going to Taylor Swift.
Is
Olivia is.
So you're
Okay,
just going there to
friends.
support your wife while she watched Taylor
Well,
Swift?
we're making a trip out of it. so
Okay.
she's not going to Miami.
what are you gonna do
On
there?
her own.
Like besides Taylor?
We're gonna go to the beach. We got a place right on the beach. We're gonna go to the beach, and it's like a resort, so we'll do that. Eat food, go to the aquarium. We're there for like 5 days, I think.
That's pretty nice. When are you leaving?
Friday night.
This Friday?
Yeah, I'll be
Oh my
back.
gosh.
Thursday.
That sounds like fun. Are you gonna do the want?
Yeah.
There you go. I helped you.
Chad, I'm really disappointed you didn't show up at 11:30 like you said.
What time even is it right now?
To be honest, I totally forgot about this thing until I saw Hayden's story.
Then why'd you come at all?
Because I remembered.
Are you gonna do your prospecting today?
No.
Why not? You should call people, Chad.
Anytime you ask Chad a serious question,
know
he
what?
laughs.
You know what?
He thinks it's hilarious.
I came in late today because I was like, oh, I guess it's a holiday.
It is not.
Isn't it Columbus Day or something like
It
that?
is.
Yeah.
And normally, no one. This is the first time I've ever seen a full lot. Normally, it's like me and Chaz and Jared.
Columbus Day, Chad.
Okay.
What are
I'm
people's
talking-
excuse for Columbus
okay,
Day?
Time out. I show up on like Memorial Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, all the Monday holidays. I show up for those. And no one's here. So I was like, oh, no one's really going to be in.
Well, maybe you should check the school calendar. I feel like people aren't here because they. Yeah. Columbus Day?
What? This guy found
No,
America.
do kids have school off today or no?
No.
Oh.
No, Copper Hills, the high school, like everyone was there. I thought they had it off because my siblings were home this morning, but
I don't know. I'm just trying to be mindful of
very demure.
Of when you can skip.
the indigenous.
You mean the ones that we kicked out?
It's Indigenous Peoples Day. It's not Columbus Day. Hayden.
Then why the hell did you say it was Columbus Day? I don't know.
It's Columbus Day on the
Hey,
calendar.
Siri,
You said Columbus Day.
what holiday is it today? Today isn't a holiday, Aiden. Not here, anyway.
Chad, why don't you tell us
On a
some real
holiday
estate
today?
deals you've been doing?
At work.
Yeah, like tell us some work-related content.
Oh, he's
want to
saying
know.
I can't hear you.
How much money have you made in the past year? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I can if you want me to.
I don't really care.
This isn't going anywhere, is it?
This is
It's going on my
this is going
OnlyFans.
straight to YouTube.
It's going to my
Don't
OnlyFans.
say it. If it's private, don't say it.
I don't really care.
It's not a crazy amount.
Hold on, can I guess first?
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask Chad a question that I wanted to ask him if he actually came on time today.
Dang, shots fired.
This is my question because I actually put time into this and I was thinking about it over the weekend and then you weren't here. And I was really sad. Here's my question. Is that you think very differently. You went to college and you dropped out, right? You didn't graduate.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I want to hear the story of Chad Morgan, how he came to be.
My camera?
Camera. Right behind you.
How I came to be.
I want to know. Because you started in college. You
Where do I
started.
start?
Start with
right
you
after
came
high
home
school. Right after high
from your
school.
mission. Or yeah, okay.
Okay.
I don't
High s-
know.
high
When it
school
starts to
or-
get good. When does Chad start
Okay.
to
Well,
morph?
I'll start in high school because that's part of my career, I guess. Kind of, not really. But it had an influence on it. So high school, end of sophomore year or end of junior year. No, it was my junior year. I knew a guy that. Why does it sound so weird? This microphone sounds so weird.
You're very quiet. Is there another one? Your volume's all the way up. and I'm
That
holding-
one.
You want this one?
Yeah.
Is there a way to change it out real fast? I mean, it looks like you just unplug it and plug it back in.
That's
right?
fine. Well, here.
Yeah, it looks like you unplug it and plug it. Yeah, plug it in.
I'm gonna turn your volume off.
Okay, now try.
Okay.
Test. This
That's
one's
better.
better. Yeah.
I don't know how you can deal with that.
You have to hold
now.
that.
I'm just gonna hold it.
He's like a real podcast man now. Except he just doesn't show up on time.
Okay.
Sophomore Chad Morgan,
Yeah, whole junior year.
junior year.
So, junior year. This thing is kind of heavy. I know a guy that is in real estate, and he, when you say top producer, he's like a top producer, like 100+ deals a year.
Jeez, okay.
And he's a family friend through church, and he reached out to me one day and was like, "Hey, I have a job for you." And I was like, "What would you possibly want me to do in your business? I'm literally like 16, 17 years old in high school." He's like, "I just want you. That's perfect. You have your driver's license. That's all I need." So I was like his runner. So he did sales and had a property management business, and I ran around to properties, opened doors, took pictures of houses, did whatever he needed me to do, pick up lock boxes, whatever.
Whoa.
And he paid me, and I did all the marketing for the rental properties.
Nice.
So you started real estate at like 16 years old.
Yeah, or 17. Yeah.
He was a
Oh my
realtor before
gosh,
he
I
could
didn't
even
realize
get a
you were so
license.
young.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's where I started marketing rental. Like there was a team of like 4 of us for his property management business, and my job was to like one person was like kind of maintenance requests and doing lease agreements, and my job was to put the properties up for rent, schedule showings, and do all that. That was my main task. So I did that for a few 2.5 years probably. I went to college for a semester, and then there was like 6 weeks between my first semester of college and my mission where I was home. So I worked for him again for like 4 more weeks before my
Nice.
mission. Then I went on my mission for 2 years. Got back February of 2021. And then of course, he's still in my life at that point. I go home and he offers me to come work for him again. And this time it was like going to be different because I was old enough to get my real estate
Yeah.
license. I was gonna join his team, and he was gonna like give me
Whoa.
a position back on the property management team.
And this is California?
This is in California.
What part?
Southern. It's called Temecula. It's like between San Diego and Los Angeles.
So he was like rich.
He's loaded. Yeah. He does really
I'm
well.
gonna need his contact information after this.
Yeah, he does really well, and I keep in touch with him all the time.
Nice.
Because he's my biggest mentor for sure, and well, I should say one of my biggest mentors for sure in this business. So I was gonna do that. I was gonna stay home, live with my parents, just save, probably make a bunch of money, and probably save a bunch of money. And I registered for classes still. I registered for my real estate classes and my school classes, but just to be online so I could do it from California.
Mhm.
And then I just had a feeling that that wasn't the right thing. So actually, I'm not a very anxious person, but I got anxious about staying home. I was like, it didn't sit right with me.
Mhm.
So I was like, as great as this opportunity is, I'm not going to do this. And so I transitioned all my classes to in-person classes. I didn't start California real estate school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as a career goes. I knew I just wanted to go to BYU Idaho because that's where I felt like I needed to go. So in I got home February 21. That happened, March-ish, and then
So you never actually fully got your license in California?
No.
Okay.
You didn't start.
no, I never started.
Okay.
And then I went up to BYU Idaho, April of 21, I think, or end of March, something like that. And then that's when I I was roommates with a guy from my mission.
Nice.
We were never companions or anything, but we decided we both ended our missions in the same area, and he ended a little bit before I did. We decided we'd room together because we both knew we were going to the same place. So I stuck with that, and he started dating a girl who is now my wife.
Oh,
I heard the story.
home wrecker.
But
Oh my God.
before we got married and everything, so we were dating and stuff. While we were dating, after that first semester at BYU Idaho, I went back to the real estate thing. I was like, what if I tried that?
In California?
No. What if I tried that just still going to school here, and instead of picking up a part-time job or something, while going to school to make a little bit extra money, why don't I just try to give that a shot?
Mhm.
So, um, my parents, they gave us like, when we get married, they give us like a sum of money basically, and they're like, do what you want with it. It's instead of like paying for my sister's weddings or paying for rings or honeymoons, which they technically paid for those things. They gave us a sum of money, and were like, you decide between you and your spouse what you want to do with that. This is before Olivia and I were talking about getting married. It was while we were dating though. I remember because I didn't have any money. I used like a couple thousand of that to get my license, to pay for the school and like get my license and everything.
Mhm.
Because it actually, I know in Utah you can get your license for nearly free by taking that one school, but in Idaho,
That's what I did. Yeah.
in Idaho you have to pay for classes, and there's other fees and stuff. So I was like, hey, mom, dad, I'm not getting married yet, but can I use a couple $1,000? They were like, I guess, like, if that's what you want to do.
Cool parents, bro.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I took the classes, and between that spring semester and that fall semester of school, I got my license.
Okay.
So I get my license in Idaho, and then I start. I actually remember it was like my first week of having my license. This is really what introduced me to the game of real estate. I had a listing.
In your first week?
Yeah,
Dang.
it might have been the second week. It was like the first, I don't know, 10 days or something.
Very soon after. Okay.
It was this guy. He randomly reached out to me on Facebook. We connected a little bit, and he was like, "Hey, by the way, I just saw that you're a real estate agent on your profile. Me and my wife, we want to sell our house here in Rexburg, move to Idaho Falls, and get because they're in a townhome. They want to upgrade to single family
Mhm.
home. They signed the listing agreement and everything, um, and then they decide not to do it.
Oh.
Right? So happened that little did I know that
This
would
is the
be
beginning of Chad's
yeah
bad luck.
yeah that little did I know that would be
Is this your villain arc? Are you actually
dude
plotting to revenge against them?
like
He can't because it's happened 100 more times.
yeah exactly. I was super bummed, but I think it took me like I don't know. It was a few months later, and I closed my first deal ever. It was
Nice.
like 300. I think it was like $320,000 house in Blackfoot, Idaho, to a couple from California.
Nice.
And then I closed a few more houses. So that ended up being around like January of 2022. Um, at that point in time, Olivia and I were engaged to get married in April of that
Time is
same
it?
year.
What time is it?
1 o'clock ish.
It's 12:50. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, a little bit before Olivia and I get married, we decide we're gonna move to Utah. It's because we wanted to. Um, we were gonna transition to all online school, and we were just gonna go for it. Um, and so we got married in April of 2022, and then we moved in. I think we were here August of 2022.
So you've only been here for like 2 years.
Yeah. a
You've
little
only
bit.
been married for 2 years.
Yeah, we've been married for 2.5 years. Yeah.
You seem so Utah to me though.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I just you were born and raised in Harriman. I could just see that.
It's hard to picture you in California.
Yeah, I can't see you in California. You're not tan
So,
enough. I'm kidding.
I used to be. I'm just kidding. Actually, no, I played water polo in high school.
Ew.
You get really tan playing that because it's like
Cardio though.
3 hours in the pool every day during the summer and fall. But anyways, yeah, so I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do. I found when we moved to Utah, I found Infinite Real Estate on. I knew I was gonna get my license. I knew I was gonna transition to my Utah license, so I did that. I found Infinite Real Estate on Indeed.
On Indeed.
That's how I found them. Funny enough.
That's how I found him.
Yeah. And
Were you looking for a team?
yeah, I was looking for a team specifically with the brokerage I was in, which was EXP at the time. And yeah, so things aligned, and I decided I was going to jump into it full time, not get a part time job or a full time job. Olivia,
What time was that? Like what year did you? The summer of 2022?
before we moved down, I decided I was going to
Oh, okay.
jump into it full time. So I had a few more closings in Idaho. I think I sold like 5 or 6 houses that year in Idaho.
It's not
before we
terrible.
moved. Yeah, which actually wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. So it gave us a little bit of of money to have, so I could do that. Olivia got a job working full time at Bohm.
What's that?
It's a
Like
clothing
retail.
store. Yeah, it's a retail store. And then she switched to Lululemon, and then here we are a couple of years later.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's a lot has happened. Like seriously,
Yeah.
this has been the most action-packed 2 years of my entire life since we moved, and we're really glad we moved. It's been great.
It's been well worth it since you've been
Love it
here.
Yeah.
Are you planning to stay in Utah for the rest of your life?
Yes, probably.
Look at
At
this
least
guy.
home base.
This is home base.
Home base. Yeah.
Do you go back to California much to visit your parents at all?
Yeah, we go like twice a year,
Okay.
and we go. Olivia's from Texas. We probably go there more actually.
Got two opposites, Texas and California.
So is it fair to
Definitely.
say that if you never had that high school job, you probably never would have ended up in real estate?
Probably not.
What do you think you would have done? Or what intrigued you at school?
Well, maybe I would have. I don't know. I knew for the longest time when I was a kid. I remember in kindergarten they asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up. I told people I wanted to be an orthodontist. Super random. I don't know why. And then I think towards my high school years, I decided like, no, I want to get into like some sort of business, be an entrepreneur maybe.
What were you
something
going
in that.
into for school?
Business management marketing.
Okay, so still related.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So maybe I would have landed here, but I think that definitely like gave me a clear path of, oh, I can do this. And my plan was never to start a property management business either. Um, that all happened in summer of 2023. I started thinking about it. A lot of people told me not to do it.
Is it challenging multitasking that while being a full-time real estate agent?
It can be. Depends what's going on.
I'm sure it's helped too.
But yeah, it's also helped a ton.
Yeah.
Like my buyers I have under contract right now, they're tenants in one of our houses.
That's pretty nice that you can just, when you guys are ready to move, right here, ready for you guys.
Yeah, which most don't usually buy, but these ones in particular wanted to, and
Nice.
it worked out.
Nice.
So, yeah, I thought about starting that, in the summer of 23, and then it officially started running at the beginning of this year.
So
Kind of
what
part of
took
the plan
you?
just kind of happened.
What were you doing during those 6 months from when you first started thinking about it to like getting it up and going?
I was messaging people. I was messaging like people who were renting their house, and
Like landlords?
yeah, I was messaging landlords. That's actually part of the reason why I started. My biggest client, he has like it's either 6 or 7 doors that we manage. Um, and he was one of the first people I ever reached out to.
So what did you say? Because you didn't have a company yet.
I said I'm thinking about starting a property management business, just like in Utah and Salt Lake County. This is what the fee structure would look like and what would be included. Just looking for some feedback on that.
It's a good way to go about it.
He responded, and yeah, he gave us his houses to manage quickly. So it was
Oh,
it was a
nice.
great kickstart
Yeah,
for
that's pretty nice.
for the business, because then it was like, oh well, I have a few operating expenses, but we already have enough properties to make a profit off it. So that encouraged me to do it. So, but other things in between was like setting up stuff through the brokerage. You got to set up a trust account, talking to the lawyer, figuring out what we needed to put in the property management agreement, setting up an LLC, an operating bank account.
Is it just you who runs the business, or do you have employees?
It's me, and then I have Chaz who helps out. We just put him on salary, and then I just had a couple people buy into the business
Nice.
for a small percentage for a percent of ownership.
That's pretty cool.
So last summer,
Yeah.
2023, could you imagine that this is what you would be at right now?
No. I thought the business would make like I predicted, because I remember it was the end of last year. I was calling to get all my insurance and licenses and stuff, and I was talking to my insurance agent, and he was like, "How much money does your business make?" And I was like, "Well, we haven't even started yet." And he was like, "Okay, if you had to guess next year, like what's your projected like revenue?" I was like 24 to 36,000, 2 to 3 grand a month. And I was like, that would probably be the most. But it's
Have you far exceeded that already?
yeah. We should.
Oh,
That's the wrong one.
I'm pretty close, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen, but it should hit 6 figures this year.
6 figures this year?
Yes.
What
Revenue.
what all goes into it? I'm assuming because like someone reaches out to you like, hey, like I want this property to be managed, or you reach out to them, and what is all included? Like, what do you do for them?
Ask Maddie. Just kidding. We don't do
I have to check on my kids.
Do you manage her property, one that she has?
Yeah, Maddie actually just gave us her because she just bought a new house and wanted to rent out her current one, which is a great idea. So it's everything you can think of. It's my goal. What I tell people, prospective clients, landlords, whatever. What I tell them is my goal. Forget about what's included or what's not. My goal is to make it so all you get. The only time you hear from me is that notification that the rent
That rent's been
account
paid.
just hit your bank account.
Nice.
You know. So whatever that entails, right? Handling maintenance requests, advertising the property for rent, getting tenants in, documenting condition of property, handling security deposits, keys, all the little things, garage clickers, turnover repair coordination. So, and what I mean by turnover repair coordination in between tenants, when we have one tenant moving out and one moving in, usually there's some stuff that needs to happen. So we use the security deposit to, and we have to keep track of all the expenses to get the property clean, get the carpets clean, get holes in the wall filled, paint, whatever it needs, right? So all that stuff.
Do you find that you've been able to rent out most properties every single month? Have there been any vacant months for any properties?
Yeah, actually there was one. It's usually the more expensive ones though, that are like really big houses, like 4,000 square feet.
Okay.
What's the rent on those?
The
3,000?
particular one I'm thinking of, I think we ended up renting it for like 3,300. Lately though, things have been a little bit slower renting properties out. It probably takes, on average, 3 to 4 weeks to fill, but sometimes as long as the owner lets us price it right, it never takes that long. It usually is because
The owner's stubborn about what
Yeah.
money they want.
yeah, like Maddie for example,
Were you stubborn?
she was like, "What do you think you could go for?" in the time we needed to,
Mhm.
and I gave her the number, and that's what happened. Sherry as well. Um,
Like within days.
yeah,
Like very fast.
and
Jeez, okay.
Sherry, I know Sherry's not renting out that property anymore, but we did have an approved applicant because I told her, look, it's going to rent for this much if we want to get it filled quick enough. But yeah, it's usually when you're hundreds of dollars overpriced a month, it's definitely going to sit there.
No one wants to overpay for rent, so
Yeah,
that makes
but
sense.
even then, usually it fills, but it fills at a lower price. Like the renter negotiates it down. So,
Yeah. It's pretty cool though. I mean, you've been able to make a successful business on top of a business. So
yeah.
2 successful businesses actually. Bravo,
There
Chad.
you go, Chad.
Bravo, Chad. I envy you. I wish I was you.
No, you don't.
Maybe I wish I was born in California. Privileged. I'm kidding.
All right.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's my life.
That's Chad Morgan, ladies and gentlemen. Bravo.
The becoming of Chad Morgan.
Does that answer your question, Maddie? The becoming of Chad Morgan?
Yeah. I didn't realize you started so young. I thought like that maybe you went to college and you're like, what am I doing? This is a waste of time. And you like flipped over to real estate or something.
And my thing on college too is I was still going to college lately. Like I'm technically I think I'm like 60 or 70% done. I don't know exactly.
Was it a bachelor's you were working on?
Yeah. Bachelor's.
So if you really wanted to, you could go back and
What's
only have a year and a half or so.
70 out of 120? Yeah, so like I was like 60% done. But I don't think college is a waste of time at all, necessarily. I mean, college is the reason I'm here today. Maybe it wasn't the schooling itself, but it's the path that my life took, the course that my life took that brought me here, right?
Mhm.
and
So you could say there was networking benefits
and
to going to college.
I guess if you want to say that, I more for me that was like personal life choices, like getting married and moving to Utah and getting my real estate license initially where I was going to school. Stuff that kind of introduced me to the business and got me thinking and got me going. So I don't think school's necessarily a waste of time for everyone, but it did get to a point in my life where it's like I'd like to finish, and this is very recent. Whereas like I'd like to keep going part time while I do everything else, but I just physically can't right now.
Why would you want to keep going? Just to have it on paper that you graduated?
Yeah, just for the accomplishment.
It's fair.
And honestly, a part of me still wants to go back one day. I told my parents, and they laughed at me, but this is an actual goal of mine. When I retire in my 40s, I'm going to go back to school and get my degree.
Retire in your 40s? That's your goal?
That's the goal.
That's a good goal. Do you have any of your own rental properties?
No,
No?
we just bought our first home this year that we live in.
Nice.
We don't rent it. We live in it.
Did you say I shouldn't envy you? This
Wait,
guy.
how old are you? 20,
20. I just turned 25.
Young.
25.
This could be us, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, when did you buy your home? 2024?
Yeah, we bought it February.
Nice.
We finally, after two tax returns, right, Hayden?
Being a 1099 employee. Woo!
Yeah.
Or not employee.
Which, for those of you who don't know out there are now 1 year 1099.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a guy I was speaking to the other day. Or it wasn't him directly, but it was, that's besides the point. But he was like, yeah, like I know someone who really helps out people like agents who don't have a fixed income get approved for approving, like getting their own house and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, this is a conventional loan I'm talking about. There's obviously other loans, like you can do a hard money lender, which is super expensive, or a non-QM loan, but there is a conventional loan now that does 1099.
Good old 5%.
1 year 1099, but I think you need 10% down. I'm not exactly sure.
Is that a higher interest rate?
Slightly, yes.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. And
I
10%.
think it's like a percent higher, but if you go to a hard money guy, you're gonna be like I don't know. Sometimes I see like 10, 12%. You know,
I just need my investment property. That's all I need. I'll let you manage it. How's that sound?
that sounds good.
Wait, actually, question. If someone, say, has a fourplex and they ask you to manage it, do you charge just the one time, like your monthly fee, or is it times by 4? Because there's 4 doors you're managing, technically.
Yeah, it would be times 4.
Okay. So if someone has a 6plex, times by 6. If someone has a 10plex,
Yeah,
times
we
by
just
10.
charge per unit. At least for right now, that's how we.
That's $150 per unit. Is that how much it is? Okay.
Because you got to rent out each unit.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah,
They're managing
we.
4 units.
Yeah, we charge per door. Maybe there's a time in the future where things would be priced differently for a multi-unit property.
Like a bundle deal or something like that.
Yeah.
I see. Would you lower it for me, Chad?
No.
Okay. Good response.
Yep. I am already at the bottom. That's the best I can do.
$150 a month. 149. Take it or leave it.
Leave it.
Leave it. That's right,
You
Maddie.
imbecile.
Draw the line. You gotta draw the line somewhere, and that's where I draw it.
149.99.
Just kidding. There are some people I have that do multiple properties with us, and we do it for 125 a month.
Nice.
So do you see yourself increasing in price?
No,
You like where you're at?
I like where we're at. I think it's good. It's not the most expensive, and it's not necessarily the cheapest either, but I feel like it's the most valuable.
It's a good value deal that people are getting. I like
Yeah,
that.
because some property management companies do like for X% of the rent this month, we'll do this, this, and this for you. But if you pay us more at this percent, then we'll do everything for you. But we're just very straightforward. We don't have package deals or anything. It's
Just a flat
it's
fee.
It's one fee. Well, it's the flat monthly fee, and then the 50% of first
Yeah.
month's rent to market and procure a tenant. So, yeah, it's kind of simple. We just keep it simple.
An entrepreneur in the making, Chad Morgan, ladies and gentlemen.
In the making? I feel like he's made
Already
it.
made.
Already made.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show with us, Chad.
Wait, this is better now. Oh my gosh,
think we
this is
just
so
did
much better
ASMR.
with the with yeah.
Hold
with
on, we have
my
to come up
mouth.
with a name for the show.
This
What
is
do we
way
call it?
better. This is how it's supposed to sound like. It sounded weird this whole time.
Can you start beatboxing?
No.
I
It's
feel like
gonna
this would
break my
sound perfect.
ears. I have to go.
Okay.
But thank you for coming, boys.
Okay,
Good
bye.
podcast.
You
This
guys
was
can
pretty fun.
continue if you
So
want.
when do the controversial topics happen? Next week?
When someone
Oh,
hasn't
I
had
won't be
time.
here.
Why are
next
you gonna be?
week.
Oh wait, you're gonna be in Florida.
I'll be here the next week though.
Can we end this off on something just controversial? Just say one thing that's controversial.
I'd rather not.
Are we live?
Army
Army
life?
life?
Are we live?
Are we alive?
I'm not going to say anything controversial.
9/11 was fake.
You mean it was planned?
Shut up.
It was
It wasn't fake. It happened.
okay.
I take it back. Stop recording right now. I hate this. Take it back.
Helen Keller. She was fake.
How long did you record for? That felt like it was way longer than I.
She will not be able to reconnect if she will stop.